Strata fees in BC are a lie. Here's exactly what you're paying for. Ever seen a condo in BC with ridiculously low strata fees and thought, wow, this must be a great deal? Well, if so, you're not alone. But what if I told you those low fees could be hiding tens of thousands of dollars in future repairs? Or even worse, the financial health of the building is already in crisis and nobody told you. In BC, condo fees are way lower than other areas of Canada, but that doesn't mean that you're saving money. And for buyers who don't read between the lines, that deal that they get could become the most expensive mistake that they ever make.
You only get one chance to buy or sell your next home. Let's get it right.
Hey, my name's Darren, a local realtor who specializes in helping buyers make smarter, safer moves in the Surrey, White Rock, and surrounding real estate markets. I've reviewed hundreds of strata buildings, documents, and deals, and I've seen what happens when people buy blind. So in this video, I'm gonna break down how strata fees actually work, why cheap can cost you big, and how to avoid getting burned when buying a condo in BC. If you're buying soon, make sure to reach out, or you can book a time with me in the description of this video below. Or grab the free guide that I've linked below, 21 grants and incentives for home buyers, available right now. It could save you thousands or get you free money that you didn't even know existed. So if that all sounds good, let's get into it right now. So here's where low strata fees stop sounding smart and start sounding dangerous. A lot of buyers, especially first timers, see low monthly fees and think this is a great deal or less monthly cost, or this building must be so well managed. But in BC, that's often not the case. Some stratas intentionally keep fees low by skipping future repairs, and worse yet, not saving for major expenses that are unavoidable long term. When something breaks, the roof, windows, pipes, elevator, guess who pays? If you're an owner, that bill lands on your lap, and it's called a special levy. And we're not typically talking about a few $100s here. It's not uncommon to see bills of $10,000, $20,000 or more. In fact, I'm currently working with a client in a building that avoided critical maintenance for years, and the clock has finally ran out on the entire ownership group, who is facing individual bills of upwards of $350,000 just to bring the building back to a reasonable, livable state. This is the hidden danger of low strata fees. They often delay the pain until it's too late to avoid it. I've seen it happen, not to my clients, but to buyers who didn't know what to look for, approaching us to sell their units because they're finally out of options. They moved into a building with a $275 a month strata fee, and less than a year later, they were hit with an $80,000 special levy for envelope repairs. No warning, no reserve fund, and absolutely no way to avoid it. When buildings fall behind like this, unit value drops, buyers walk away, lenders get nervous, owners panic sell, and prices plummet. So no, low strata fees don't always mean cheap. They can mean expensive surprises, just not today. So let's talk some numbers. According to octoy.com, who provides condo data insights across Canada, the average condo fee in Ontario is about 75 cents per square foot. In British Columbia, it's around 45 cents per square foot. And some older buildings are even lower. On an 800 square foot unit, that's a difference of nearly $3,000 per year. Now that sounds expensive, but here's the problem. That savings comes at the cost of smaller reserve funds, deferred maintenance, and much higher risk of emergency levies. The biggest reason that Ontario leads the pack, I mean, check out this graph of Alberta, BC, and Ontario. The reserve fund contributions in Ontario at over about $200 per month on average more. They're nearly double Alberta's and almost triple BC's. This isn't an accident either. Ontario condo corporations must contribute an amount that is reasonably expected to cover major repairs and replacements over a 30-year horizon, which is determined with something called a reserve fund study. Strata owners in Ontario, on average, pay almost $135 per month more into building reserves than those in BC. While this certainly raises condo fees, it reflects a proactive stance that will reduce special levies down the road. It is also fair to both current owners who are enjoying the useful life of the common property and future owners who often unknowingly buy future liabilities in BC and Alberta that they have not properly understood. And many stratas here vote down those increases because, well, it's optional. So, yes, fees are lower in BC, but the buildings are often underprepared, and that leaves home buyers like you exposed. Hey, worth noting, if you're buying a home right now, do not miss this. I've put together a guide of 21 grants and rebates available to home buyers just like you that's available for download in the description below. It could save you thousands of dollars. There's no point overspending or missing free money that you deserve. So how can buildings actually fund these repairs and keep the maintenance up? Well, there's really only three main models. No matter which way you skin them or name them, they can really just fit into these three buckets. There is the pay now model, similar to the Ontario model. These stratas charge higher monthly fees to build strong reserve funds. They plan ahead, they save steadily, and fix things before they fall apart. The pros of this are predictable costs, higher resale values, and fewer emergencies. But of course, the cons are higher monthly payments. And these higher monthly payments can scare off buyers who don't quite understand what they're paying for. The second model or bucket is to pay later. Low monthly fees, but nothing is saved. When repairs hit, so do the massive levies. The pros on this are low short-term costs, but the cons are big surprise bills, falling values, and angry property owners. And this is where most people get burned. Now, the third bucket is kind of a hybrid model. It's kind of what you see used most often in BC, but probably to the detriment more than the positive. And that's more balanced fees. There is somewhat long-term planning, but there is still expenses to be paid later on. And this is the area where the best buildings live. They take a strong leadership and smart owners to make sure the building is kept in good repair. But here's the truth, regardless of which bucket or model any building you're looking at falls into, every building will need repairs. You can pay monthly, you can pay in lump sums, or you can pay the painful way. But one way or another, you will pay. A lot of buyers seem to think that living in a strata and paying your strata fees monthly means that you will never experience a special levy. And that's simply not true. Owning a home costs money, and there are expenses that will exceed the cost of owning and the cost of your strata fee you're paying monthly. So how do you avoid the traps as a home buyer that's interested in a strata like a condominium or even a townhome for that matter? Well, here's exactly what to do. Step one is work with a realtor who understands strata risk, someone who's reviewed hundreds of buildings, who knows what a healthy building looks like on paper and in reality, and who can pull building comparison data or use similar tools. Because if your building has the lowest fees on the block, that's not always a win. It could be a real warning. And let's be real, not everyone with a real estate license has this kind of experience. Make sure you're working with someone who's handled dozens of transactions just like yours and who actually knows how to assess strata health before you buy. Step two is to read the depreciation report and the minutes, especially the AGM minutes, or at least get help. These documents hold the truth. Are major repairs coming? Has the strata voted down increases? Is the reserve fund dangerously low? You don't need to be an engineer, but you do need someone who can spot red flags before it's far too late. And step three is to ask better questions. What is the building's funding model? Is there any history of special levies here? Are increases being slowly implemented or just avoided? This isn't about being picky. It's about protecting your future, equity, and peace of mind. In short, condo fees are just the surface. They won't tell you if the building's falling apart. They won't warn you about a surprise $30,000 special levy. And they definitely don't guarantee financial health. So before you fall in love with low strata fees, ask, what are they not telling me? Because the true cost of owning in BC isn't always in the listing price. Hey, look, if this video helped you, hit that like button and subscribe for more honest real estate breakdowns like this. If you're planning to buy soon and want guidance, reach out anytime. I'd love to help you do it the right way. And there's also more to the story about owning a condo or a townhome, and one that has stung thousands of home buyers, especially as of late. You're not going to want to miss the video coming up next, all about why we no longer recommend buying new construction condos directly from developers. This is a must-watch video if you're looking at pre-sale condominiums, buying from a developer, or getting into a new construction property even generally. And spoiler alert, it connects directly to some of the risks that we covered in today's video. Good news for you, that video is coming up next, so I'll see you over there right now.